Joining us to talk about all of this is Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch, an immigration attorney, a regular here on The Briefing. Hey, Kate, thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
So, bottom line, what does this mean for the more than dozen countries directly or indirectly impacted by this ban?
Well, it means that people will not be able to visit if they haven't already gotten visas, or if they have visas, they could be denied access at the border, and that the people who are applying for green cards will also not be eligible for green cards. And I think that's going to be pretty devastating to a lot of people who probably are already in process. So it's a new Muslim travel ban with an expanded list of countries.
You know, when I saw the list of nations, Haiti among them, and I mention that because my wife has been on a number of missions to Haiti to try to help the people there. Does this affect Americans traveling into the country, or just those trying to leave countries like Haiti and Chad, in Libya, Afghanistan, Somalia, and the rest?
Well, this is an inbound immigration policy, so it blocks people from these countries to get non-immigrant or immigrant visas, which essentially means to visit here temporarily or to live here permanently. There's not a prohibition against native-born citizens going to visit those countries, but I think we have seen people who have extensive travel in these regions be detained and questioned at the border. So a U.S. citizen can't be arrested without probable cause, but we have certainly seen people held for hours or even overnight by Border Patrol, if they have a lot of these stamps on their passport and Border Patrol has questions about why they were there.
And Kate, this, of course, comes on the heels of the president really trying to block the entry of foreign students and foreign scholars to this country. Is this simply another layer in all of that, his so-called Make America Great Again policies?
Well, definitely this will apply to students and other people, people who are coming on employment visas and bringing their talents. This is an ideological and a religious ban. It is a Muslim travel ban, but of course there's countries like Haiti and Cuba and Venezuela. So I think there's a lot of obvious racism at play, and it is just an overall, to the clip you played right before this interview began, I think that this is an attempt at, making America more white.
Can these individuals already in the system fight back, or is this proclamation, again, it's not congressional action, it's a directive by the president. Is there any course of action that those individuals trying to come to the U.S. can take?
Well, I would encourage people who are impacted, number one, of course, to talk to an immigration lawyer to find out if they're impacted, but also we can anticipate federal litigation. So there's going to be some impact litigation. We'll probably need plaintiffs for those lawsuits, and we'll have to see how this plays out in the federal courts and what's going to happen. I know that the Trump administration tried to be a little bit more cautious with this travel ban, so although they included more countries, the rollout is intended to be less dramatic and drastic, and they're citing more national security implications to try and bolster their position. So it's unclear exactly how this will play out in federal court, but we certainly did see during Trump 1.0 several iterations of travel bans and several that were blocked by the courts. And so a lot of it is up in the air about, we won't probably know for another 60 to 90 days ultimately whether this gets rolled out and how and whether it's allowed by the courts. But I think we can assume that some of it will stick and that it will have quite an impact. And it's pretty devastating, especially when you look at, countries like Afghanistan. Of course, we knew this when the refugee program was stopped. These are families, many of them of people who assisted the U.S. military during our time in Afghanistan, and most of the people coming from these countries to the U.S. are individuals who are ideologically or politically aligned with us. They are fleeing those nations for a specific reason. They are not aligned with the nation that they are departing. And so it's just, anecdotally, what I've seen working with people from Eritrea, they're coming here because they like the United States better. They're not coming here because they believe that Eritrea is the best,
Right. No, it's just another chapter in all of this. You are our go-to person when it comes to immigration issues. Kate Lincoln-Goldfinch joining us from Texas. Thank you, as always, for being with us. We appreciate it.